So let's go ahead and jump into what we've all been waiting to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, The Mandalorian. So we got
Woo!
the finale, the freaking finale of The Mandalorian season 2. Typically, we do it to where we give our non-spoiler thoughts and then get into spoilers.
Mhm.
But do you want to
I
skip
think we
that
should
this
just
week?
get into it.
Yeah,
So
because most people
spoilers-
watching this, let's be honest, most people watching or listening to this,
Either
I've already seen it.
have already seen it or just don't care about it.
Yeah, exactly. But you're probably not gonna be watching the video version if you haven't seen it. Anyway,
Yeah.
point is, wow.
Wow.
So wow. I guess this first section, just give me your initial reaction to the episode, which I guess is kind of non-spoiler. But
I already said it, but
doesn't
wow.
matter.
Yeah, wow. I had a lot of I wouldn't say I had a lot of expectations because I just knew that there was different directions that they could have gone with this.
Mhm.
So it was just I was open for anticipating literally anything. And I just knew it was gonna be somewhat like large scale. I just knew something big was about to happen because they were gonna go get Grogu back from Moff
Mhm.
Gideon. So as a fellow Star Wars nerd, I was just so highly anticipating this episode. And well, I mean, let's state the obvious here because it is a spoiler. Get into initials here.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker when he just freaking
Luke.
when I saw the X-wing come
Yeah.
behind them in the background,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they better not tease us because I was like, that's definitely Luke in the X-wing. And then when he came in, then he was in his cloak, and then he had the green lightsaber. I was like, okay, that's definitely Luke. They definitely would be teasing us now if it's not Luke at the end of this. And then when he finally uncovered it, which the reason they did that was for CGI purposes and with money, like obviously
We'll
it'd be
get
a
into
ton
that.
of. We'll get
Get
into
back
that
to your
later.
thoughts.
But overall, my thoughts like throughout it, it just felt Endgame-esque. Like it wasn't like because Endgame was a whole movie and something that we've been waiting for so long. But in a way, this was something that we've been waiting for a long time. We got it in a TV show and not a movie. So like, it was cool to see that. But yeah, it just felt very like high stakes. Like the scale, like even for example, the music behind.
I thought
like,
the score was fantastic.
The score was fantastic. But yeah, overall, just each scene felt there was just a lot of weight towards it, and it felt totally different, and I just loved it. So.
Yeah. First of all, as you can see, I am sporting the official child Baby Yoda Grogu hoodie. Got this, I want to say back like last summer. Anyway, dope hoodie. But wow. This episode, literally our last like 2 or 3 podcasts, I've kept saying, I think since the Ahsoka one, I've said, this is some of the best Star Wars content we've had in a long time. This is some of the best Star Wars content we've had. But every episode, besides the last one, has just elevated it. And so I'm going to say the freaking line again. This is some of the best Star Wars content we've had in years.
You heard it.
And I can't get around it. Like, literally, it's so insane to me how this show, other than a few episodes, has just gotten better every episode. And I feel like it's rose the stakes. Besides that second episode, and the 7th one didn't fully raise the stakes, but I feel like the 7th one was still a very important episode. Man, it's just gotten better and better. And this show has managed to do something that's truly spectacular. And I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni deserve all the props in the world. And I think it is the most no-brainer decision to me to have Favreau and Filoni be the new heads of Lucasfilm and the new heads of the future. And I know they're obviously going to be involved in, some of these new shows coming out.
Kathleen
But like, we're not here to hate on Kathleen because she did still kind of oversee some of this, so she does deserve a little bit some respect for it. But, however, yeah, this just feels like a no-brainer to do that, and this was just epic in every way possible. and it was emotional. It was jump out your seat crazy.
As you can see, I'm yawning because we had to wake up early this morning to watch it.
Yeah, no, we woke up super early to watch it with my dad.
Oh, you get your nice cup of Joe
And it
from
was
the
just
Mo and Joe
amazing. Yes, if you guys want to buy your mugs, free promo. I'll get you the full front view.
Cover
you
art,
feel
cover
me?
art,
The seal.
seal.
You feel me?
Good.
But yeah, this episode was epic. So let's get into our rundown. I don't want to do as much of a rundown this week, but let's jump to when. Let's jump to hyperspace. Let's jump to when. It was not that bad. It was not that bad. Don't give me that face. Let's jump to when they get on Boba's ship, and so obviously they go to get Bo-Katan. There's some conflict there, but I don't really want to go through all that because there's just a
For
lot.
all of our
there's
fans,
a lot there.
For everyone listening, is Boba Fett a Mando? Is he a Mandalorian or
Yeah,
not?
I guess it's a question mark. Just make sure the thing stays on.
Yeah.
I don't know, but so we get onto Boba's ship with the crew, and Mando's able to bring them together and be like, "No, we're in the same cause here. We're trying to get him off." And so they're on their way, and they pull this classic in Star Wars fashion kind of mission to where Boba's gonna creep up and make it look like he's tracking them down, and then shoot goes straight to light speed, and they just come in right behind him on this super dope Imperial ship, that the one that they had raided from what's the scientist's name? I his name's on the tip of my tongue.
I don't know. I forget his name. But
Yeah, but anyway, which by the way, they killed the scientist, right?
I don't think they did. I don't remember the scene.
Dr.
where they
Pershing, that's his name.
Yeah, I don't remember a scene where they did.
Yeah.
They just. Do you remember? Like they kept. I think they just kept him on the ship.
They might have. I don't know.
They had him tied up together.
Anyway, so they get in the Moff shit, whole Imperial, and whole Star Destroyer looking thing, and basically get in there. Mando's gotta go his own route because he knows what he's got to do. He's going straight for the child, which it was interesting because you thought for a second maybe Bo-Katan's gonna go for him because she's trying to get the Darksaber, but they ended up having the girls team up, and credit for an awesome moment. The whole crew of the females just going ham. Obviously Boba had went out, so Boba wasn't there, and Mando goes down the hallway, and the Dark Trooper door. It was Terminator style. He gets to the Dark Trooper door, and he thinks he can just shoot him easily. He doesn't realize how crazy these things are.
Get over the fact that.
And so he just tries to close the door on him.
Yeah, he tries to close the door.
That boy just grabs it, Terminator style.
Where's Johnny?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was like, here's Johnny. No, for real. So he just opens it right back up. This Dark Trooper just oh my gosh, it was just one. He just goes ham on Mando, and Mando doesn't realize, oh, I need to use my spear.
Yeah. Wow.
Which you would have thought he would have realized it sooner.
Mando.
Are you going to say something about his stupid writing? The way he's written?
Yeah.
It's kind of dumb.
He did. There was a couple more stupid things in this, which, again, totally discard all those dumb decisions or kind of his dumb thought process.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again,
you talked about
everything
from the earlier episodes.
Yeah, everything overloads it because, again, everything else just was superior over it. So, I don't really care that much anymore.
Right.
But I think it's more comical. But he just doesn't use it until then. But I think there was another kind of dumb thing that he did, but I kind of forget in this episode. But it wasn't super big, forgetting the jetpack.
Yeah.
But continue on what you were saying. You said so he ripped open the door. He did his thing. Then he fought him.
Right.
Finally used the spear. Got him right in the neck. Pulled off his head, and then he was like, "Wow, okay, all that for one."
Right.
So then he finally goes to the door. And then he finally was able to just wipe them all out by using what's the specific latch?
There's a name for the latch where you just pulled it down. They all just went flying out the window. So a part of me's like, there's no way there would have been that much of a build up for them to just be gone like that. There's no way. And they proved as Pershing confirmed earlier in the episode, they are phase 3 Dark Troopers. Yeah. So because they're phase 3, they're droids, and obviously droids can fly out. We know from the prequels, we know from seeing General Grievous, we know all kinds of evidence, but droids can fly out and easily come back, and it's nothing to them. So clearly that's what's going to happen.
One other thing was, it's also Star Wars. Anyone can fly off anywhere. Anyone can explode anywhere.
Unless you see their blood and guts in their body, which they're not going to show blood and guts in Star Wars.
But I will have to say, we did see in episode 1, Darth Maul split in half.
Qui-Gon.
What?
Oh, you're saying with Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Yeah,
we saw him falling down a pit. So you're like, okay, I guess he could live. But then you see him fall down in 2 halves and a half, and I'm like, okay.
And he comes back as spider legs.
He comes back as
in the Clone Wars.
Again, anything can happen.
Anything can happen in Star Wars.
But continue.
Which, by the way, Mace Windu's definitely still out there, and he's gonna show up in Kenobi. Continue.
Yeah. So.
Continue.
Yeah. Do you want to? Me? You? Okay. I'll continue it.
You got it.
All right. So. I wanted to piggyback off that, so we transition from him, they all fly away, okay? We're like, okay, we kind of all thought that they were going to come back. Like, all that for the Dark Trooper.
Like there's
all
no
the hype, all the hype for the Dark
for
Troopers.
Like that.
So then Mando is now going towards Grogu and going towards the box or whatever whatever the room's called. And he gets there, and while this is happening, Bo-Katan and everyone else is in the bridge.
The girls are just destroying all the stormtroopers.
They're destroying all the stormtroopers, and they're at the bridge, and then Bo-Katan's like, "Where's Moff?" And then we all figured that because Moff. By the way, I think we figured out that Moff is Force sensitive at least,
or he's just a smart ass dude.
Because he's smart. He's smart, but some of the things he was saying seemed more than just smart, because. When he said,
I don't know.
I think,
because there's people in the Star Wars universe who are geniuses that aren't necessarily Force sensitive.
But like some of the things he was saying,
yeah,
it just didn't seem smart. It was more of
he knew, their
you
whole
would have
plan.
had to. It wasn't even just their plan. I was kind of blown away by it, because then he gets in there. Moff Gideon's holding the Darksaber right over Grogu, and
you're just like, oh my. Gosh, I think that I literally said that when the door opened and he had the Darksaber. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah. So
obviously he wasn't gonna kill him right there, but it would just, dude, seeing the saber right over Grogu's head, you're like, I just don't like the sight of that. Yeah. But continue.
But so he walks in there, and Moff Gideon, he's talking about the Darksaber and the importance of it, and that it used to belong to Bo-Katan, which we had figured out, and then he just went through this whole spiel on
which. Let me just make a comment real quick as we're going through this. I will say that's like one slight thing that kind of bothers me sometimes.
I think
is they feel like they need to explain things, and I get it, because you're trying to hook a general audience as well, and the diehard fans, but they definitely over explain some stuff in this show, where like even when Boba showed up, he said, "My father was Jango," multiple times. We know that. You didn't need to say that. You could have maybe said it once. But Jenga. I just feel like they over-explain some stuff, which, again, like I just said, I understand why, because the general audience. But, sometimes you just got to do things for the fans. And if the general audience, they'll either pick it up or they won't. And it just is what it is. You know what I mean?
I think they over-explain, and sometimes I think they under-explain, too. For example, in this episode... Why couldn't Bo-Katan tell Mando the reason why she wanted to face Moff Gideon one-on-one?
Wait. We'll get there.
I know, but it connects because he was talking about the importance of the Darksaber and how Bo-Katan was wanting it, and
he stole it from her. Blah,
yeah,
blah, blah,
yada yada yada. But so he's like, all right, Mando is like, I don't need that. I just want Grogu, and then I'll be gone. And then Moff Gideon was like, okay, I already got everything I needed. I got the blood. He's very special. I see he has that
Dude,
bond with you.
This is another dumb.
Yeah, this was the
Mando
this
moment.
yeah, this was the dumb Mando
Like,
moment. I was
bruh,
like,
are you freaking you? Are you stupid or are you dumb? Like
are
for
you
real.
stupid? Yeah, I that was the other part that I was talking about. Okay. Moff Gideon, what's his name again? The actor who plays him.
Giancarlo
Yeah.
Esposito.
Yeah. Great actor.
He's firing
Moff
like
Gideon,
everything he's in.
he's a great actor of an actor, if you get what I'm trying to say here. He did a
No,
good
I
job
know.
at acting like he wasn't like he meant.
Oh yeah.
He's a
like
great actor of an
Like
actor.
he was
He was
trying
playing
to
the-
sell it to Mando.
He was trying to sell it to Mando.
I thought it was painfully obvious. I thought Mando
But-
was just stupid.
But it was painfully obvious at one point, and I'm like, at least if when you're going to Grogu, like, kind of side shuffle, keeping an eye on Grogu.
Shade shuffle or side shuffle?
Side shuffle.
You said shake shuffle.
Sorry, shake and bake towards Grogu,
Uh-huh.
and make sure keep an eye on Moff and Grogu, and when you pick him up, like, make sure you still have eyes on him.
Alright.
But he was like, okay, and then he like completely goes to Grogu and is like standing there and like.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but hey, it set up the fight. It set up the fight
perfect
between Moff Gideon
and
and
their fight was dope.
It was so cool seeing this.
I'm not gonna lie, I wish it would have lasted a little longer.
Yeah.
Which was like the whole thing about I wish the episode was slightly longer, but very minor knock. It was still
Dude,
amazing to see.
There's one
in
specific
action, and it
part
was
of the
so
fight
dope.
scene where I don't know if you noticed it, but dude, Mando's got some moves. He had one specific
kicked
move
him?
when he kicked.
Dude,
no,
that was
when
fire.
When the spear it came back, kicked it up, and then swung
Yeah,
the spear.
that
I
was
was like,
tight.
bruh.
That was tight.
It's like, where did he learn
And
all
he
this?
handled him. He handled him pretty easily. Like
Mhm.
way more easy than I thought he would. I thought it was gonna be more of a battle, which it was still a great battle. Like I said, I'm not disappointed by it, but I just like Mando like held his own like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So after that fight, he then, which we'll get into obviously, but then he has the dark saber
and
has him in locks or whatever the
right. He has
cuffs or whatever.
right.
Moff
And
the
Mando
cuffs,
has
the dark saber.
no, but the throne. He
The
has
throne,
like
yeah.
the
The man
there's a word for it. Basically, he has the ability to have the throne of Mandalore
Mm-hmm.
because he has the dark saber now.
So they walk in, and Bo-Katan is like starstruck in the wrong way, not because Moff Gideon's being held to justice alive. It's and again, Mando doesn't know this, and Cara Dune and everyone else, they don't understand. And gosh, it was I didn't know any of this history beforehand, so I was kind of confused still too.
The dark saber stuff.
Yeah, until they like.
I knew some because I had done some research, and yeah, I'm not fully caught up on Clone Wars. And everything they've done this season makes me want to catch up like fully on Clone Wars and Rebels. So I think honestly, I'm gonna make that my mission next year, is to watch like the entire series of both of them.
Yeah.
Over the course of the next,
But it's a direct reference from all you Harry Potter fans out there. The Elder Wand in Harry Potter, how
you have to
you have to, for example,
or fight someone.
Snape was the one who killed Dumbledore. Oh gosh, spoiler alert.
Harry Potter
Oh, my.
spoilers.
If you haven't already, I'm sorry, forgive me. Snape had killed Dumbledore. So when Voldemort was wielding the Elder Wand, it wasn't totally working for him because it's originally Snape's wand now because he
Right.
killed Dumbledore. It's the same way with the dark saber. It has to be one, and it even was explained that it's won by its story. Like it's the power is the story, not the saber itself. Pretty much.
And Moff
it
uses
doesn't
it
work,
to taunt
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Or to taunt them, really.
Yeah. So, so we learn about that, and like Bo-Katan's like so pissed. Like Bo-Katan's like so mad.
Well, she definitely knew. I don't know, but then there's some continuity issues because I heard that in Rebels at the end, Sabine Wren just hands it to her.
Yeah, there are some loopholes that you can
But,
get. But
anyway, that's besides the
but yeah,
point.
so you could tell she was frustrated about it, but
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it kind of moves on, and
Exactly.
you start seeing, oh, okay, shoot, now you see all the dark troopers are back now. So now like they're like, how many life forms? 0, because they're all droids.
Yep.
or they're all clones or whatever, and
Uh-huh.
they come in
Droids.
droids. What I meant to say. So then they're all coming back, and you're like, okay, shoot, now we're gonna see this all at war again, and they're all on the bridge, and then
Wait, let me say it.
okay,
They're all on the bridge. Dark troopers are getting there. They start punching down the door. You're like, what's
yeah,
about to happen?
the synchronized punching.
Not gonna lie, I thought
was
it was
like,
dope.
I thought it was dope too, but like, couldn't you like, like go a little bit faster there,
True.
like speed up the process? It was like,
I mean, they're droids though, so they're the tensions are rising, whatever. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Time out. I need a better siren for that, but we're gonna have to make that work. Freaking the X-wing just comes in.
just
Kara
one
goes,
X-wing.
yeah, just one X-wing.
Great.
Like that's gonna help us. And then I literally, all right, this is where we're giving you guys our reaction of this moment. When I see the X-wing, I said out loud, you can attest because we were watching it together. Which watching this episode was like just a whole memory. I'm never gonna forget it. It was awesome. I said no way. I was like, no freaking way. I was like, no way that's Luke. He gets out the damn ship. You see the black hood, all black. That has to be Luke. I just kept saying that, bro, that has to be Luke. That has to be Luke. And I was like, oh my God. By just adrenaline rush. Because I'm like, I didn't really think they were going to do it. As you guys know from our predictions from last week, I expected Ezra. I don't care. I'm nerd now. This was an amazing moment. I'll never forget it. Ezra, I had thought it was Ezra, so like I still was like skeptical, but I was like Luke Skywalker, and then obviously like they showed his hand, and I noticed his hilt too was Luke's hilt, so I was like it has to be Luke. I was like, but even then I was like 99.9% sure because, and it was I still had that 0.1% because they left it ambiguous with him having his hood up, and Luke just glorious form, just goes ham on the troopers. I mean, this is when we all have wanted to see something like this in live action and we never got it in the sequel trilogy. This was a redemption of that. And this was like when the books and when some of the extended universe stuff and some of the old legend stuff talks about like Luke being Jedi master and being this amazing Jedi, from Return of the Jedi on, and even after Return of the Jedi, we finally got to see that, and it was just wow. It was incredible to see. I really didn't think it was gonna happen, so I was just in shock. And then obviously he gets down to where the troopers had been punching, like the. Why am I? He gets to the door.
He gets to the door or the elevator when it opens, and he gets his dad's arc of the dope hallway scene.
Yes, the dope hallway scene from Rogue One.
Yeah.
He got the exact same thing.
The smoke with the green lightsaber, and then he just goes through and one by one, dark trooper by dark trooper takes him out. And then you see Grogu during this time, he's putting up his hand to the screen. And you can tell that Mando's like kind of picking up on some things that he's like, this is I think the Jedi that was.
Yeah. No, Mando certainly started to realize it. And then obviously the reveal that it is him, and he takes the cloak down, and oh my gosh, it was just insane. I will never forget that moment. And then you realize, well, he has to say goodbye to the kid, and he has to give it to him because now he's here. And
yeah, or reject Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and it just leads to one of the most emotional moments, hands down the most emotional moment of this show. And like Din really has to just give him the child and give up what he loves so much because he knows it's for the betterment of his story. And so obviously Din then decides to take his helmet off because he wanted the child to really. You guys won't be able to hear, but our audio was messing up the headphones. Anyway, so the child doesn't want to leave him, but he takes his helmet off, and like the child clearly wanted him to take his helmet off. And that moment where Grogu Baby Yoda put his hand up to his face was just soul crushing, bro. Wow. It was
And
incredible.
like I said,
Nerd tears
Pedro
on a different
Pascal,
level, bro.
his acting was incredible
Oh
in
yeah,
this.
shout out to him because
Dude,
he's like what we were talking about earlier, like his facial expressions in that scene. I don't. If another actor would have tried to do that and wouldn't have done it right, the scene would not have hit the same if it wasn't him. Honestly, it just fit perfectly. My one critique of the episode, I guess I've had like a few minor things, but my one like thing that is actually a critique that takes it down a little bit for me, which you'll hear when I get my final score, is when Luke does show up. I thought the CGI wasn't great. I feel like it could have been better. It wasn't horrible, and it was definitely forgivable because it was freaking Luke Skywalker and it was just so epic. So I'm not upset about it. I just feel like it could have been a little bit better, or they could have used Sebastian Stan because there's been that whole thing of them looking like identical, and it's scary whenever you see the side by side. But yeah, and then R2 obviously, that was awesome, and the way that R2 kind of like made his little noise and got happy when he saw Grogu, I think that could be a little nod to like maybe R2's seen him before because R2 remembers him from when he trained in Coruscant at the Jedi Temple. Who knows? But anyway, have this incredible emotional moment. Has to give the child to Luke, and they go to the elevator. Elevator shuts. That's the end of the episode.
he said, "May the
That's
force
end
be
of the
with
season.
you."
He said, "May the force be with you," and
They out.
man, it was incredible. And then we get the crazy post-credit scene of Boba Fett taking over Jabba's palace and taking over this throne. And foreshadowing this Boba Fett show for the future, which some people are saying could be season 3 of The Mandalorian, which makes sense to me, but also having it be its own show makes sense to me. Now, I believe they've said that season 3 of Mando was supposed to be Christmas 2021, which is roughly what they're saying for this Boba show. I think they said December. So some people are like, there's no way they would do 2 Star Wars shows at once. I could see them doing it, and because Disney Plus needs content, and that would just keep the content continuing to roll, which obviously there's going to be a lot of content in 2021 with all the new Marvel stuff, and I don't think we're going to get Ahsoka. Yeah, I don't think Ahsoka's coming out next year. I could be wrong, though. Some people...
It said 2022.
Okay. I don't know if the Ahsoka and Rangers, like that Ranger show that were just announced the other day, I don't think there's any official dates. And all the other stuff, I don't think there's any official dates for. But yeah.
Except for Obi-Wan, it says next year.
Well, no, I think they're filming Obi-Wan in the spring.
In the spring, okay. And
so Obi-Wan will probably be 2022 because they're filming it next year. But anyway, man, just epic on all fronts. And if they do go the Boba is the season 3 of Mando, I'm not gonna be mad about that. I think it'd be dope. As long as like we see Din moving forward, I don't want him to just be like disappear. And him and the child will meet back up for sure at some point.
They'll dap up.
What'd you say?
I said they'll dap up.
They'll dap up, yeah, at some point. But it's still the payoff was there, and this was some powerful stuff, man. Like this really felt like this is what Star Wars is all about. And I feel like for me to kind of finish our thoughts before we get on to our next section is this episode for me, it brought it back to the core of what the purpose of The Mandalorian is, which was the story of him retrieving this child and getting this child to the Jedi and then being transformed in the process, losing some of his traditional kind of things and willing to sacrifice those for the greater good of this child, as well as being transformed from kind of a hard-nosed bounty hunter to being like a father figure to this kid. And I think there's so many directions they could have gone, and there's so much they could have done. But the fact that they decided to keep it grounded and say what is the central theme and what is the central purpose of the story that we are telling, and that is great storytelling right there. That is why stuff like this makes an impact on like me in a profound way, because it ultimately comes back to family, and it comes back to this journey of um, characters, and these characters all having their separate arcs, but then coming together as one and becoming like their own family. And so I think this episode just reminded me of why I love Star Wars, and it was very powerful to watch. It was definitely some emotions. I did not cry watching it, for the record. I cried after watching it when I thought about it, which I'm like that with some stuff. When I really like think about it, it impacts me. But yeah, this episode was a 9.5 out of 10 for me. The 0.5 is because the Luke CGI and then some of those little minor like nitpicks we talked about. Like I wish it was longer. Da da da. But this was incredible. That's all I have to say. What are you gonna score it? Or any last words?
I'd give it a 9.5 as well for the same reasons. It's just it really. I think some movies have been doing a better job lately at tapping into the father-son relationship, because a lot of movies in the past have been all mother nurtured type ways, where I don't think they've really
Explored
the father-son relationships as much. Like for example, I think they haven't done a lot of brother relationships as much, at least for what I've seen until lately, and father and son relationships. Like to me, I think those, especially because I'm a guy and like I'm a son, like that stuff's really important to me. So like just being able to see that and the impact, it all kind of started back going into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You got R.I.P. to Yondu and
one of Elliot's
Peter Quill.
favorite MCU movies, Guardians 2.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Both Guardians of the Galaxy are amazing. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is.
We're not here to talk about Marvel though.
Yeah,
I'd say that for another time.
Yeah, I'll save it for another time. But the father son relationship there, that's what like really got me, and like this was just really cool to see like the father son relationship that he was building with Grogu. So overall, great episode. And
yeah. This was definitely a moment that I think collectively us as Star Wars fans aren't going to forget for a long time, and it's just great to feel like Star Wars is back on track. So, anyway,